Hello everybody, today I will show you how to fix a floppy VANAGON mirror, and I will also show you the procedure of replacing it with a convex one. First of all, we are going to start by loosening the two screws which hold it on the door. Sometimes you will need some penetrating fluid in order to get them loose because they like to rust. In my case it was easy to remove them because the car got painted recently, so there wasn't any chance for rust to build up, but in other cases it may be a little bit more difficult. After removing the mirrors, we can start by removing the stock hardware because we will need it in order to install it on the new mirrors. The reason for that is the following. The springs of the new mirrors are low quality compared to the ones of stock mirrors, so in order to keep them from closing by themselves or flopping around, we will need to extract the original spring and install it on the new one. In order to do that, you will need a 10mm socket, and that's basically it. It's really straightforward to replace it. And now we are going to repeat the same procedure with the old mirror in order to be able to exchange the springs. After that, I will show you the two springs in comparison. It's clearly visible that there are big quality difference if you compare both of the springs. The new one has a smaller distance between the windings, which doesn't allow it actually to do its job as a spring, because before you actually get a proper force out of it, it will just bottom out and then you basically have no spring, you just have a very big washer compared to the stock one, which has a bigger space between the windings, which actually allows it to function as a spring. After that, we will just take this joint and put a tiny bit of grease over it. I do it because I got a new old stock mirror and I also did it like that. You just need a tiny bit of grease, you don't need a lot of it. After that, we are going to put it into the cup and we are going to try to align the hexagon of the ball joint to the one of the mirror. And after doing so, we will just install the original spring, the washer and the nut. After doing so, we can move on to adjusting the mirror. This can be achieved on a vise or on the van. The vise version is obviously easier because you can actually check your adjustment without removing it from the van, but you can also try to tighten it up and then try it on the van, and if you see that it's too loose or too tight, you just remove it, and you repeat this until you are satisfied with your adjustment. After finishing the assembly and the adjustment, we can actually move to installing it on the van. You can actually install stainless steel bolts, but it's highly recommended to use an agent which prevents galvanic corrosion, like Loctite 243 or anti-seize. Afterwards, we will just prepare our hardware, so the screws and the new gasket. I would suggest you to use a new gasket. After installing everything, we just put it on the door and we just start tightening the bolts. First of all, you will tighten them just a little bit and then you will give them the final snug in order to see the mirror properly. Afterwards, we are going to check our adjustment by hand. If we are fine with it, we are going to do our test drive, maybe on the highway for example, and if we see that the mirrors are floppy, we will just move on and readjust the mirror and then it should be fine. Lastly, I will show you a small comparison of the stock and the convex mirror. As you can see, you have a way better sight with a convex mirror. It makes parking and switching lanes way easier, and it's also a great alternative to the bulky off-road mirrors. If this video was helpful to you, I would appreciate it a lot if you like, share and subscribe. If you want to support me with other means, you can do so by buying me something from my Amazon wishlist or by contacting me via Instagram. The links for that are down in the description below. I wish you a nice day and great success with your repairs. Bye!